8 rappers born in the 2000s. It's not easy to succeed in rap unless you're young. There are some artists who have managed to stay relevant despite growing up and starting a family, but they are the exceptions to the rule. In general, most of rap's biggest stars are in their 20s, or even younger. The main audience for rap these days is mainly kids, and they want to listen to artists that they can actually relate to. And as time goes on, it seems that the acceptable age for a rap superstar is only getting younger. Sure, Lil Wayne got into the game when he was in his early teens, but that was pretty unusual for the time. Now it almost seems odd for a new rapper to be over the age of 20, and that means that there are a ton of popular rappers that were born after the year 2000. Yeah, feel old yet? It's funny to think that many of the artists now making music with parental advisory stickers also probably have their parents sign off on their deals. Before we start the video, make sure to click the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, here are 8 rappers who were born in the 2000s. Number 8, Lil Pump. At this point, it honestly feels like Lil Pump has been in the game for a long time. It feels like it's been ages since Gucci Gang was first released. In reality, it's only been about 4 years, but that's a long time in the world of rap. He was one of the biggest artists to come from the SoundCloud era, and he helped define a sound all his own. And the crazy part is that all of the crazy moments in his career have all happened before he even turned 21. Lil Pump was born on August 17, 2000, meaning that he's only 20 years old. He's accomplished quite a bit thanks to the fact that he got into rapping early. He dropped his first track on SoundCloud in 2016 when he was around 15 years old, and he was only 16 when Gucci Gang took over the world. Lil Pump has done a lot, but it honestly seems like his time in the spotlight might be coming to an end. He hasn't released much music since his 2019 album, and most of the hype has worn off. Imagine starting and ending a whole career before you turn 21. He could have become a lawyer if he hadn't dropped out of Harvard. Number 7, Lil Tecca. For a long time, people were thinking that Lil Tecca was just going to be another one-hit wonder. After all, there are plenty of young rappers with Lil in their name, and dropped a hit and then disappeared. But it looks like Tecca is here to stay. His debut album did quite well in 2020, and he has new music on the way. Tecca's had a good start to his career, and he really can only go up from there. He was born in 2002, and in case you didn't guess from his album title Virgo World, he's a Virgo, with his birthday being on August 26th. That means that he's currently only 18 years old. That gives him a ton of time to work on and really hone his sound. Interestingly enough, Tecca originally didn't dream of becoming a rapper. Believe it or not, he wanted to be an NBA player when he was young. But by the time he became a teenager, he started to dabble in music a bit more seriously, and he found that he really had a knack for it. To be specific, he had a knack strong enough to make a multi-platinum and a top 10 mixtape before turning 18. That's definitely impressive. Number 6, The Kid LAROI. From the outside, it probably seems like The Kid LAROI just popped out of nowhere. One day, none of us had ever heard of him, and the next day he was collaborating with artists like Juice WRLD, Lil Mosey, and Miley Cyrus. He's had a really crazy ride to popularity, but despite only being 17, he's actually been making music for a while. LAROI was born on August 17, 2003 in Australia. He had a rough childhood, and by the time he was only 13, he was experimenting with music as a release from what was going on around him. He then released an EP at the age of 14, fittingly called 14 with a Dream. It got the eyes of Columbia Records, and they signed him and hooked him up with Juice WRLD. He and Juice developed a friendship, and LAROI learned a lot from him.
I just liked Juice's music before I even met him. I was a fan, so that was kind of like, that was really another reason why I really was with them so hard, because I just loved Juice and what he was doing, so I was like, I wanted to be like that in that position. So yeah, but I mean, definitely I learned a lot of stuff being around him and his process and how he records and moves and that type of stuff. So yeah, I definitely did learn a lot. Good things.
Using the skills that he learned, he dropped a hit album and has since released multiple charting singles. So while it may have seemed like he came out of nowhere, he actually got working on his craft since he was young. It'll be interesting to see where he goes next with his talent. Number 5, Bhad Bhabie. We should all be familiar with Bhad Bhabie at this point. Otherwise known as Danielle Bregoli, Bhad Bhabie obviously got the start to her rap career in an unconventional place, Dr. Phil. She appeared on the show because her behavior had gotten so unruly that her mother needed Dr. Phil's help. She went on there, said "Catch me outside," and then became famous. That's really all you need to do these days. What you might not realize though is that Bad Baby is super young, as in she only just turned 18 in 2021. She was born in March 2003, and that means she was only 13 when she appeared on Dr. Phil. That also means that she was only 15 when she released her first mixtape. She was actually the youngest female rapper to ever debut on the Billboard charts. It seems like Danielle has taken a step back from music, however, and is focusing on other things. She has been working with a group that helps stop the poor treatment of teens in facilities like the one that Danielle herself was sent to after appearing on Dr. Phil. Oh, and she's also expanded into modeling, breaking other records on OnlyFans. But that's a story for another day. Number 4, Tay-K. The story of Tay-K is an incredibly interesting one. In case you didn't know, the rapper who brought us The Race is currently in jail and looking at 55 years at least. It was actually the buzz around his criminal actions that made The Race so popular, as he released it while there was a manhunt for him. He got caught, went to jail, and became a famous rapper in the process. Hey, that's one way to get publicity. Tay-K was born on July 16th of 2000, when he became a murderer and only 17 when The Race was released. The Race and its accompanying video were then actually used as pieces of evidence in his trial due to the fact that the lyrics contain details about the crimes he allegedly committed. Unlike other rappers who get an early start, Tay-K unfortunately won't find a chance at a bright future. He's got a hefty sentence already, and he's also waiting on another trial for a different murder to finish up. It's unlikely we're going to be hearing any new Tay-K music for a long time. Number 3, Lil Mosey. Despite only being 19, the future of Lil Mosey's career hangs in the balance. He was charged with assault in April, and he's set to stand trial in July of 2021. If things go well for him, he might just jump back into the music game like nothing changed. If he ends up being convicted, he can more or less kiss his chances of a successful music career goodbye. But before I get ahead of myself, let's take a second to look at Mosey's past. He was born on January 25th, 2002, making him 19. He actually released his first song on SoundCloud way back in 2016 when he was only 14 years old. 2 years later, he's gotten some online hype and linked up with Cole Bennett and Lyrical Lemonade to make a video for Noticed. After that came Blueberry Faygo, the song most of us know Lil Mosey for. Released shortly after his 18th birthday, it became a massive hit, climbing all the way up to the Billboard Top 10. We're still waiting on new music from Mosey right now, but he might be too preoccupied at the moment with building a legal defense to work on his career. It's clear that Mosey has a lot of talent at a young age, so we'll have to wait and see if he's able to capitalize on it. Number 2, Lil TJ. With 2 successful studio albums under his belt, New York's Lil TJ is one of the most promising young rappers in the game. He was born on April 30th, 2001, and he just celebrated his 20th birthday. His most recent record, Destined to Win, sold very well and climbed all the way to the top 5 on the Billboard. TJ has already linked up with some of the biggest names in hip-hop, and has definitely made a name for himself as well in just a few short years. TJ got his start in rap when he was only 15, and it happened in an unusual way. While other kids his age were working on music after school, he only started rapping because he had nothing else to do while he was in juvenile detention after a robbery. He got out and started sharing his songs on the internet, quickly leading to him getting signed by Columbia. After only about 4 years seriously rapping, TJ made himself one of the hottest rappers out. The question is, of course, whether or not he can keep going. But compared to many other young artists that have had an explosive start, it seems like TJ has the work ethic and connections to have a lasting career. Number 1, NLE Choppa. Here's something that's pretty hard to believe. NLE Choppa released his debut single, Shot of Flow, only 2 years ago. We've gotten 5 editions of Shot of Flow since then, multiple mixtapes, and even an entire personality shift from violent to woke. Choppa has only been in the rap game for a short bit, but his impact makes it seem like he's a veteran who has been around for much longer. In reality, NLE Choppa is only 18 years old. Born in Memphis on November 1st, 2002, he started releasing music when he was about 16. His songs started to gain a ton of popularity around the time that he dropped Shot of Flow, and labels quickly got interested. But Choppa made a super wise choice for such a young guy. Rather than taking a nice sounding deal from a major label, he signed with United Masters. This allowed him to keep ownership over his music. We've seen a lot of different sides of Choppa since he first entered the scene, and it's hard to say what he will do next. It already seemed like he turned his back to the spiritual awakening a bit, but who knows. He's actually a father now, so maybe that will start to play into his music.
Gotta show growth. I ain't really trying to be out there shooting nobody no more. I got a daughter. I was like, it was crazy though. Like before I had my daughter, while I was still blowing up, I was still having that. I don't give a mentality. Like, I take it there. Anybody who want to do it, like, come on. Like, this how it was. But then, like, my daughter, I was like, man, I'm doing all this. I'm be here or here. And I ain't gonna be able to be in her life if I'm there or there. So I said, I ain't gonna do that.
Or maybe we'll just get some more Shotta flows. Were you surprised to learn that any of these rappers were born before the 2000s? Let me know in the comments. And before you leave, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel.